Hello, I'm Maiki Oreta, and welcome to Trade Talks, where we sit down with industry leaders, innovators, and change makers who are shaping markets, challenging norms, and making an impact. Here we explore the strategies that drive progress, the challenges that push industries and communities forward, and the ideas reshaping the way we work and live. What's new, what matters, and what's next? Let's find out together. What started as a dare between friends has become a digital success story, a spontaneous adventure in 2016 that has grown into one of the most unique content creator brands in the country. Two French in Manila isn't just an Instagram page, it's a cultural bridge, a boost for local tourism, and a business that showcases the Philippines to a global audience. And in a time when social media shapes consumer behavior, content like theirs plays a bigger role in economic growth, influencing travel, brand marketing, and business innovation. Joining us today is one half of the duo, John Fisalbon of Two French in Manila. He'll talk about how his content creation is not just changing the way we experience brands, but also driving growth across industries from tourism to digital marketing and beyond. Good morning, John. Too bad your other half, your other business partner, Nelson, couldn't make it. He's down with a flu. But we've got you, and you just flew in from France.
Exactly.
Not too much sleep on the plane, you were telling me. But anyway, tell us how you got started in this business of content creation.
Sure. Bonjour, Maiki, first.
Bonjour.
Maiki, yeah. So we started probably 8 years ago when we understood that the Philippines was the capital of the world for social media. And Nelson and I were thinking probably it's our role to maybe bridge the culture between France and the Philippines. So that's how it started. Mm-hmm. And then since then, we never changed our mission in the end. And we created so many things. We started with YouTube. We started on Facebook as well. We explored a lot of islands in the Philippines. And then maybe once Nelson has his baby here, he decided to settle. We stopped traveling a bit and focus maybe on the food industry also. We're French, so, we're not cooking, right? But we have a plate where we can maybe distinct if we like it and if other people will like it. And then recently, maybe 2 years ago, something like that, we started to do more food reels. And we noticed that we had millions of views and people wanted to really try the food that we tried. So we thought maybe, we have a good palate because people want to also try the food.
Yeah, everything on your feed just looked so yummy. And for you, this is a side gig. So you fly in from France half the year. You're here for half the year. You shoot your content, and then you go back because you have another content creator job in France. But what you did here gave birth to what you're doing in France. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I think through the years, I would see that basically, I spend more time in the Philippines, if I'm correct. It's maybe like 7 months and 5 months in Paris. That's because I have more things to do here. I have more things to develop here. France is mostly my inspiration. I go around the restaurant in France, of course. I check all the museums. There's 150 in Paris. So, of course, it brings me a lot of knowledge and to work on. And then when I'm in the Philippines, I try with Nelson to find probably the little independent, authentic restaurants that we'd like to see more also here in Manila. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's your recipe for success here in the Philippines in terms of content creation? What's working for you?
Maybe not much, actually, because we're focusing more on our businesses. Two French in Manila is really a hobby. Of course, we're making revenues with it, but it's mostly break-even. The revenues we're generating are probably more from our businesses, but there are links with Two French in Manila because we can do some synergies, right? Mm-hmm. Of course, you would have monetization on YouTube, but on Instagram and Facebook, it's not the case yet, I would say. TikTok also is not really the case compared to other countries. So the only way to make sufficient revenues would be through brand partnership with Two French in Manila, right? The problem that we have with Nelson is that we don't really like working with big industries in terms of food. I think that's why we sometimes stick too much to our values, and that's why it's maybe not the recipe for success in that area in terms of financial, because the big companies have the big budgets, right? But those big companies are maybe not promoting the healthy food that we try to promote. You know, we try to seek and to find the right restaurants that take a lot of...
So you don't accept everything that comes your way?
No, we refuse a lot, unfortunately. Sometimes we should not.
Okay, a partnership that you do have is with the Department of
Yes.
Tourism, and that's interesting. You inked this partnership in 2020. Can
Yeah.
you tell us about this, what you're doing with the Department of Tourism?
Yeah, so just, I think it was maybe around 2019 or 2020, we got a little bit more famous on social media. So the DOT asked us to do a campaign to drive more French people to come to the Philippines. I think it was a time, maybe in 2019, there were like 8 to 9 million tourists coming to the Philippines. So it was like the biggest influx, and the goal was to make even more. And the French people, they probably know the Philippines, but not that much compared to the other countries, Vietnam and Thailand, for example. So they asked us to create a French campaign to bring them. Exactly.
Has it helped? Has it helped increase tourist arrivals?
Well, this
from France?
I think so. Yeah, I think it helped, but I would never know exactly because after 2020 it was the pandemic. So when we launched the campaign, then the pandemic happened.
You're setting the seed. You're planting the seeds
Yeah.
in time for better. I mean, we have this direct flight with Air France,
Yeah.
the Philippines right now, and that's going to help. And everything is
For sure.
just putting that foundation in play for better times. You know, talk to us about, you know, there were so many countries in Asia. There's Thailand, there's Vietnam. Why the Philippines, and why food?
Yeah, obviously it goes back to my roots, right? I'm French Filipino, so you know it was
And
it
your
was
partner's
obvious.
pure French.
Sorry.
And your partner, your business partner is pure
Yeah,
French.
he's pure French, but the way he loves the Filipino culture is even more Filipino than me sometimes. He's staying here, he has a little cute baby here, which is a Filipina little girl. So he loves everything about it. Yeah, he loves the Filipino food. He's lucky to eat Filipino food at home also. So that's how we discovered that he really enjoyed the Filipino culture.
Okay.
So it was obvious, basically.
What can the Philippines do to elevate our food in the global scene, you know, from your perspective?
There are a lot of challenges, to be honest. For example, the skilled resources. You know, I see it because I'm in France. For example, here in the Philippines, I'm not sure the latest data, but it's around like maybe 25% of the human resources here that are not skilled enough for international standards for the culinary scene. So it means that we need to probably invest more in education so that they're trained enough to serve better in the restaurants and hotels. So probably, yeah, the skilled knowledge of resources could be something that would help the food culinary scene. Michelin Guide will definitely help. It's a big boost. I think there were two big news for me this year and for the people that are in this industry. The Air France flight connecting both countries directly is a game changer for sure, but the Michelin Guide also will be a game changer for sure. It puts the Philippines on spot, you know. There are probably like around 40 countries maybe in the Michelin Guide, something like that. So Philippines is a new addition. And yeah, I think I've been here for 8 years, and I'm sure we have a lot to show to the world in our recipes. Most of the people, they know adobo, but they probably don't know sinigang, they probably don't know kinilaw, etc. And those are the things that
Of the
they
Filipino
should.
food, you know, you've been here for 8 years. What is the Filipino food that you think has the potential to go mainstream globally, particularly in France? Of all the things in the Philippines you've tried, what has the potential to make it, to break it into the international food scene? What should be our like pad thai? What do you think
That's
from your
really
palate and perspective?
That's really tough because Filipinos and French have a really different palate. You know, French people, they sometimes like it a bit bland for you. Asian, they come to France, they're like, oh, this is bland. Where's the spice? So it's difficult. But a lot of French that I've seen, they like the soups. So yeah,
They like the
sinigang maybe.
soups.
Yeah,
Nilaga, tinola.
Tinola probably because it's kind of healthy as well. We have a hard time with greasy food sometimes. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a big, for the French, the food has to be very healthy.
We try. Sustainable from local producers that are around. You know, there's a lot of nice veggies around. This would be helpful, yeah. If we have a healthy food in our plate, this will also elevate society, honestly, because people will have also more power, more energy to go to work, to do things that are more productive. So that's why the food scene is super important, obviously for the tourism, but also for the inner business here in the country itself. Yeah.
And the work you do takes you all over the Philippines. So apart from the dish that we could elevate on the world stage, what is an area in the Philippines that you think is underrated, that has the potential to everybody's into the White Lotus right now in Thailand. What is an area in the Philippines? Not that that's a location, but what is a beach or an area in the Philippines that we can highlight on the world stage?
Palawan will already attract people. You know, that's our first destination. When we have foreigners from Europe, I'm talking from Europe because I don't know about Americans, but they know they want to see a cultural tourism. So creative tourism and cultural tourism go, I would say, hand in hand for Europeans. So if you're able to, showcase your culture, show that we have nice food in a nice location that has enough infrastructure to bring them, probably Palawan still be the leading island that people will go to. There are more areas that we haven't really, that are not that developed yet. I'm thinking Mindanao is one of the places in Mindanao that are the most beautiful on earth, honestly. I think the Philippines have the most beautiful beaches for sure in Southeast Asia. So if we combine this with good infrastructure, good food also,
and good content creation, right? How do we tell that story? We've got it, but how do we shine a light on it on a global stage? We'll get to that. We'll get to that answer after this short break. We're going to be right back. Maiki Oreta, and you're watching Business 360, where we break down the numbers.
This week we saw the S&P 500 make a new historic high.
Connect the dots.
They withdrew from the World Health Organization.
And give you the developments and insights you need to navigate, adapt, and lead. Real Corporation is funding artificial intelligence and data science research at the University of the Philippines.
Business 360, hosted by Maiki Oreta.
Keep it here on BNC.
The Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Hello, I'm Rain Musni. Catch up with us on Newsfeed Business.
Facts on global trends.
At the very moment, the clock is quickly ticking down to meet critical political priorities.
Keeping you updated on business news whenever, wherever.
It's a dagger at the heart of the average American family. It is just outrageous.
Newsfeed Business with Rain Musni.
Thanks for making us your daily source of financial insights.
Keep it here on BNC.
Welcome back to Trade Talks, where we continue our discussion with John Fisalbon of Two French in Manila. So, John, you've built a brand on content creation and telling stories of businesses here in the Philippines focused on food.
Yes.
How do you suggest we tell the story of the Philippines on a global stage to shine a light on all the good that's right here in the Philippines?
I think it has to go maybe in two ways. We need to bring much more people, so it's a matter of perception and marketing. Okay, how the Philippines campaign can be promoted to the world and telling them, hey, come and try to experience. And then making sure their experience here are really great. And probably the second one would be collaborating with more people around the world, for sure. We need influencers that are also not only here, but also in France, in Europe, in the US, in Asia, around. And that's how we're going to shine more light to this country. Yeah. Sure.
Many businesses rely on social media. How do you do it in order to capture a global audience? What advice can you give them?
Yeah, so as you know, I run also our agency. That's our main business, and we support a lot of luxury restaurants and hotels here in the Philippines. And the way we do the storytelling is to make sure we also targeting a mix of local and global. Okay, so when you come here in Metro Manila, you would see that you would have a nice service and offer whenever you go to that particular restaurant because it meets the international standards they're looking for, yeah.
Okay. How can businesses build a strong campaign on social media? What are the platforms they need to be on? What's the kind of content they need to churn out? What is the amount of time? How long should these things be? These reels on Instagram, and how else you'd call them anywhere else? What kind of content should they be churning out? What is the cadence? What is the duration? How do you win in this space?
No, that's a really great question, but it's very custom. Okay,
Yeah.
it has to be tailor-fitted per business. If you're a B2B business, you wouldn't do the same as a restaurant, with more B2C, I would say. Of course, if you're a restaurant, probably you would have all the major platforms like the Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, probably a website. But if you're on B2B, you would be more on LinkedIn, newsletters. So you have to adapt, okay, maybe having a mix of budget placed in your marketing to make sure it's reaching the right people. And then it goes also to the kind of content you do. Content is still king for sure, otherwise we wouldn't have millions of views. So yeah, just making sure we have nice storytelling. And also that the operations are true, you know. That's why I told you, as Two French in Manila, we want to showcase restaurants that have, in real life, great operations as well. So we choose which one we're going to.
How important is digital branding in today's environment?
It's important. It's very important, yeah. Marketing is super important. Digital branding is super important for any brand, but also for any person who wants to thrive here. Of course, most of the people are spending their time on their phone right now and on social media. The stats are not from me. You can just look at it, right? So, yeah, sorry, that was it. Yeah.
What tips can you give for a foreigner who would like to do business in the Philippines, as you and Nelson have?
Probably legally have a partner, of course. I'm lucky to be Filipino, so it's easy for me. So that's one. But then, yeah, seeking the opportunities, seeking where is the added value of that foreigner, I would say. Thanks to our bicultural, France taught me a lot of things. Education, I had a master's degree because of the French system as well. So it helped me a lot. And then when I came here, I said, maybe there's some stuff I'm better at, and there are other stuff I'm bad at, but at least the things I'm great at, I can support. So I would say, yeah, as a foreigner, of course, they cannot be entitled. They cannot really think that they know exactly the right thing to do in this country. They didn't live here. They were not born here. They didn't have a Filipino family. So, yeah, maybe just staying humble, but trying to show what is their added value, and then see if there's a problem to fix. Yeah, if they're useful.
What are your long-term goals, ambitions, and plans for Two French in Manila?
We want to keep it that way, of course, growing in terms of figures, because we want to have a better impact, a bigger voice in the things we really believe on. So Two French in Manila is really our voice. Okay? Then, of course, we have ways to generate our own personal revenues. So we need it just to communicate our true feelings, our values, our ethics. We want more independent, small owners, restaurants that really love their food and that are going to share it with the people and have a good time. We want more local producers to get their fair revenues also when they're selling their ingredients. Yeah, we want to shine light on those people, not only the big corporations that already have everything, but more on those people that work as they can. Yeah.
All right, and of course I have to ask this. Out of all the restaurants you've tried in Manila, what's your favorite?
I cannot say. All the restaurants will come at me after and say, oh, why did you say that name and not mine? No, it's difficult. But I can drop some names if you want, yeah.
Okay, you can drop some names.
Probably, so on the last ones I've been to, Casa Palma was really great. Not sure if you tried. He's a Filipino chef. His name is Aaron Isip. He studied in France, and then brought his culinary technique here. So he opened his new restaurant. It was really good in Makati. And then for maybe something more affordable, like in Poblacion, you would find really, really nice ones. Yeah. The krapa was great. The street Thai food. I don't have. Maybe if you check my page, there's a lot, but on top of my mind, not right now. Yeah.
Okay, a last question. Pandesal or a classic French baguette? What is your favorite?
Sorry, it will be the baguette.
The baguette.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, maybe we could do a Filipino twist on that with
Sure.
Filipino butter or something like that. So
Yeah.
we get the best of both cultures.
I told you, Nelson is really the Filipino, so he loves Filipino food so much, and I'll be more the French side, although he's the pure French, so it's kind of tricky sometimes, yeah.
All right.
I actually miss him, yeah. It'd be nice for him to be here as well. Yeah.
Okay, John Fisalbon of Two French in Manila, thank you for your time with us and for shining a light on both the Philippines and France and what the cultures can offer each other.
Merci. Salamat, yeah.
Okay, and that's it for today's show. I'm Maiki Oreta. Stay up to date on the latest in business and the economy here on Trade Talks. Catch us again tomorrow, only here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo news channel.